You have an interview in the next 1 hour time.
What will you do? How will you prepare? What is important? How will you impress so that you are successful in the interview? The moment you get an interview call at a very short time, you start feeling nervous. You feel you are not prepared, you don't know about the company, who will be conducting your interview, what kind of questions will be asked, what will be your response, what is the question you should be asking. And in that process, you feel very nervous. Either you decide to skip the interview or you go and give interview, but success does not come your way. What you should do if you get interview call in 60 minutes. In this video, I'm going to share with you just that. If you have got a call in 60 minutes, how can you prepare the whole interview, what you need to share, what you need to look after, what you need to study, how you need to prepare in just 60 minutes. Now, the first thing which is very important for you to know that which company you are going to give interview. Knowing about company is extremely critical because that will help you in focusing your interview and articulating what the company is looking for. For example, if a company is in product and they are only present in two states, which is say Maharashtra and Gujarat, and you have experience of Northern India, then you need to articulate your answer in such a manner that you are able to give confidence to the interviewer that you will be able to do justice in the state of Maharashtra and Gujarat, and you will be able to achieve what company is looking for. Now, how do you know about that company? The easiest way to know is to visit their website. Study their product and services section, study which are the markets, study which are the key clients they have and what is the future perspective. You can also type the company name in Google so that you can get the latest news. And if you are able to articulate those recent development and your solution in that interview, that will create a huge impact. The second most critical element, and most of the candidates forget, is the person who is conducting the interview. Remember, the person who is conducting the interview is extremely critical because for the same company, for the same role, if two different persons are conducting the interview, chances are more that they will select two different people. How do you know that? For example, you are going for interview, so you will receive a mail from that organization. You would know that that person may be conducting the first round of interview. Or if there is a phone number or an email ID, you can ask the recruiter or the consultant that, do you know who will conduct the interview? Can I have some more idea about that individual? And once you get the name, it becomes very easy for you to know about that individual. Go and visit LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. You will find that person and start noting what is the kind of person he is, what are his likes, what are his dislikes, what kind of post he does on LinkedIn or Twitter or social media. For example, somebody talks about football. Now they ask you, what are your hobbies? So even if your hobby is not football, you can mention that, sir, I love cricket, I love watching IPL. At the same time, I also watch football matches and I'm very impressed by some players like Ronaldo or Messi. So that you are able to find a common ground to build the conversation with that individual. And once that common ground is established, the conversation becomes very interesting because he'll ask more and you will be able to respond those things. So understanding what is the likes and dislikes of the interviewer is extremely critical. And in the interview, you need to align your answers to suit his needs. Once his needs are fulfilled, then you can talk about what are you looking for and what are your interest areas are. And that will ensure success in the interview.
Next 10 minutes, you need to review the job description. Job description
is extremely critical. What you have done has no relevance. What company is looking for is more critical, and that is written in the job description. So in job description, you should see what is the qualification requirement, what the skill they are looking for, what is the experience they are looking for, and what are the other competencies which they are looking for. Once you have studied that, you need to align your answers to match that. Most of the candidates have this tendency to say, I have done this, I have done this project, I have done this achievement. What you have done is important for you, not for them. What they are looking for, the skills, the qualification, the behavioral attributes, the leadership qualities is what you need to focus on. The next 10 minutes, you need to focus on preparing a strong self-introduction. In any interview, the first question which is going to be asked to make you comfortable is, tell me something about yourself. Studies have found that interviewer takes maximum 90 seconds to make up mind about you. And the first question's answer, a strong introduction, is extremely critical. 3 things to keep in mind. The first is educational qualification, relevant experience, and the skills which the company is looking for. You don't need to focus on all what you have done. You don't need to focus on your family background. For example, I'm from Patna, my father is this, my brother is this, I have studied in this school. These are wastage of time. You don't need to focus on your personal life. You don't need to focus on your family, what they are doing. What you need to focus on, your qualification, your experience, your skills, and how you will be able to achieve what the company is looking for. Next 5 minutes, you focus on what are your key achievements. Activity, your role and responsibility in your previous organization or current organization is important. But what you need to focus on, how did you contribute it? What achievements you have? So focus on 2-3 key achievements. For example, if you have educational achievement, you become topper in the class or you were top 10 in your district, you can mention that. Those achievements create a more impact than mentioning about activity, that this was my role and responsibility. How are you going to add value? One of the great techniques to answer any question is the STAR technique. Situation, task, action, and result. For example, somebody asks you, tell me a situation where you dealt with a difficult boss. Now that's a situation you can re-articulate to him. Sir, in my current organization, I would not say difficult boss, but very, very demanding boss, and which added a lot of value to me. So that is a situation. Now what is the task? You need to answer, how did you manage him? Then you can take about actions. For example, sir, I have taken 2-3 actions. I used to study a lot about what kind of outcome he is expecting. He didn't used to mention the timeline, so I asked certain open-ended questions. Sir, this is my understanding about the problem which you have mentioned. Is my understanding right? The next 20 minutes, you need to focus on frequently asked questions. In every interview, you will see 70% of the questions are the same questions. Tell me something about yourself. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What is your strength? What is your weaknesses? How will you lead a team? How did you handle a difficult customer? How did you handle a difficult boss? So these are certain questions which you know. And once you know, why don't you prepare? You can write the answer, you can show it to somebody just to validate that your answers are able to create that impact. Mug it up and represent as if you are very spontaneous. That's a simple way to score 70% marks in any interview.
The next 5 minutes you can spend on preparing questions which you will ask. Because at the end of the interview, every interviewer will ask, do you have any question? Now, one way to get rejected is to say, no, sir, I don't have any question. That's a bad strategy. You must have certain questions. Study about the organization. Ask, sir, I have studied about the new product launch in the organization. What is the impact? What is the feedback? I have studied that you have a very open culture. How have you developed this culture? I have heard some very good things about your leadership. What is your leadership strategy? How do you motivate your people? What is the culture of the organization? Even if you are sure of the answer, asking intelligent questions creates that impact. Some question which you should ask is about the company, about the culture, and that individual. Remember, that individual who is conducting the interview is extremely critical. For example, he plays golf. You can ask him, "Sir, you are such a busy person, you are such in a senior position. How did you find time to play golf?" You can ask these questions, and these questions create a deep impact and also exhibit that you are interested in that organization, in that role, and working with that company. Next 5 minutes, you focus on your attire. For example, your interview is after 1 hour's time. What kind of dress you are wearing? You should always wear dresses which are aligned to that organization. For example, if you are going for interview in a startup, you can wear jeans and t-shirt because that's their culture. But if you are going in an interview in a traditional organization, in a large conglomerate, or a organization which is very traditional in nature, do not experiment with your dress. Wear a dress which is safe. Simple pant, white shirt, or any blue shirt, shoe, and a jacket. And finally, 5 minutes, you need to check about the tech. If it is a virtual interview, you must make sure that you are familiar with the tool through which the interview will be conducted. For example, Microsoft Teams or Zoom or WebEx. You first check those technologies, whether your sound is working, whether your video is working or not, whether the place where you will be giving the interview is right or not, whether light is coming on your face or not. So these are certain technological things which you need to work on. I have seen many candidates who just struggle with the technology, who just is not able to mute, who just not able to switch on their videos, and so on and so forth. So it is extremely important that you check the technology before you give the interview. Any sudden interview which comes, you don't need to feel panic. It is quite natural. The extremely important way and the only way to prepare for interview is to prepare. And if you do these things in the 60 minutes time before any sudden interview, chances are more that you will be able to create that impact and you will get success in that interview. I hope this video was useful. I make video on job search secrets where I share unknown tips about getting a job faster, and also candidates or professionals who are joining the organization. What are the tricks of the trade so that you can grow faster in your professional career? I'm keen to know your feedback. Do share this video and subscribe to this channel, and also write in the comment box how did you like the video, and if there is anything more which I can share to help you. Wish you all the best.